Ashley from The Nocturnal, and I'm here at the New York City premiere of Toile, the brand new show from Gilmore Girls creator Amy Sherman Paladino and Daniel Paladino. The show premieres April 24th on Prime Video, and we can't wait to talk to the cast. Well, first of all, introduce us to your character. I know his name is Jack, but what's he all about?
I'm Jack McMillan. I run the Metropolitan Ballet Theater. I come from a family who has a long history with the company. We were a family of patrons. I think Jack fancies himself maybe, that maybe in another world he could have been a dancer. But more than anything, he loves this company, he loves this theater, and he loves this art and wants to see it thrive. Maybe at any expense.
And from your own personal theater background, what from that do you feel like you brought into embodying the character of this director?
I think it's just an awareness. I'm always amazed anytime I, am part of a play and putting it up, just at how nearly impossible it is to make anything happen. It's very demanding work. It asks a lot from people for very little payback, and so it's just that it's almost impossible to make happen, and when it does happen, it feels miraculous.
In one sentence, get fans as excited as you possibly can about this show. Anything you want to reveal?
No, I can't reveal anything, but I do think that we've made something very fresh, very different. I think it's a bold adventure, and I'm excited to share it with the world. I think it'll be fun.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here with you, Lou. Congratulations on the premiere.
I'm so happy too. Finally, the show is released after 2 years of work. So
2 years of work. Have you filmed both seasons 1 and 2 already together at the same time?
Oh, not just one.
Okay, just one.
Yeah.
But 2 years to film one season.
Yes, because of the strike. So it's becoming a very, very long preparation. And after a long shooting, because there is 8 episodes.
Throughout the time filming, do you have a favorite memory, either from the Paladinos or just in general with your cast?
I had such good partner, Luke Kirby, David Alvarez. It was such a pleasure to work with them. So each time I was happy to play with them because it was funny. And also the first Cheyenne scene was one of my favorites to do.
Tell us a little bit more about Cheyenne. I know that she's the principal ballerina and an important part of the swap. But what else can you tell us about her?
Oh, Cheyenne, she's a very passionate and headstrong and blunt and brutal sometimes. But I think she's also very coherent. So for that, you forgive her and you can sometimes love her because she has a beautiful purpose. She has a vocation in art. She wants ballet at the best. Yeah.
In one sentence, tell us the most exciting sentence you can think of to get fans excited for the show.
Amy has written this show. So that's a good point, I think.
Well, after going to the Paley Fest event and seeing, people from Amy's other shows, how do you feel about being in this family with her?
That's crazy because at first I didn't realize how Amy is famous. So I realized step by step, and now I'm like, okay, that's crazy.
It's a big deal to be in this family.
Exactly.
She'll never let you go in a good way.
I hope.
I'm so thrilled to be here with you, Yanic. How are you feeling tonight?
I am super excited. I literally can't wait for people to see it.
2 years of filming. Wow, it's really been a journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, you've had this amazing relationship with the Paladinos going on 25 plus years.
It's amazing.
How did they approach you for this specific role?
They sent me an email asking where I was, what I was doing, if I was available.
Will you drop everything?
Yeah, I said, I'll make myself available. Why? What's going on? And they told me they had a new show. And then I got an email explaining which character they had in mind. And if I was interested, it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
I was like, yeah, just tell me when and where.
Well, introduce us to your character. Tell us his name and anything you want to share.
Well, it's Raphael. He's the deputy director of the Paris Opera, which is basically the man who is in charge of the money. And in the art world, without the money, nothing happens. So it's a very important job. It's a boring job, but it's a job without which the art cannot exist. So yes.
From the trailer, I felt like I was picking up on a couple similarities to Michelle. Would you agree?
Well, they're both French, so you know that there's a connection there. But Raphael is not at all passive aggressive, which Michelle was, and Raphael is completely passionate about his job and 100% committed. Michelle was not. So, and the relationship between Charlotte and myself is very different. Michelle kind of always saw Lorelai to me as a little sister that he needed to guide into the world because she didn't know better. Charlotte, he really respects her and tried to facilitate her vision and everything she needs. So it's a different dynamic, different guy. But yes, they're both French, and you know, I'm the same guy. So there's going to be some similarities.
Are there any Michelle lines that people still quote back to you?
All the time, every day. Yes,
What's
I love
the number
it.
one?
People are particularly stupid today. That line, obviously. I just did a convention in Connecticut this weekend.
Oh, you were at that one.
Yeah, I was
Must have been so
there,
much
and it
fun.
was phenomenal because people fly from all over the world, and I'm always touched by the fact that it means so much to people 25 years later.
My personal quote would be,
Yes.
I have ennui.
Yeah, people love that. People were talking this weekend about when I rolled the baby under the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Classic.
you know, when
And
my dad.
you renamed the baby
Yeah.
for no reason.
I forgot that. Yes, yeah, very much.
Well, finally, in one sentence, get fans as excited as you can about A12. Anything you can say to get us hyped?
Well, to me, it's a love letter to dance, to art, and I am hoping that it will turn some people that didn't know anything about that art form into fans and wanting to see shows about dance.
I'm so excited to be speaking with you. First of all, introduce us to your character, his name, and anything you want to share about him.
Yeah, my name is Gideon Glick, and I play Tobias. He's a brilliant and complicated choreographer who gets sent to Paris.
Okay. And if you could describe him in 3 words, what would it be?
Well, I've already said brilliant. I've already said complicated. And I will say blunt.
Blunt?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very important quality of the character.
Paladino?
Yeah. She loves a good, just blunt humor.
I do too.
Well, you know, you had a great experience, obviously, working with the Paladinos on Mrs. Maisel. Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
as well. What were the differences, kind of doing that period piece with them versus doing this, you know, in multiple locations? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they're so good at pop culture references, and so all of a sudden now we finally get modern pop culture references, so that is fabulous. But also, just, you know, the show is about ballet, and it's about capturing movement, and they did it so beautifully in Maisel, and I think they really upped the ante with this one.
Well, in one sentence, tell us, get fans the most excited that you can about the show. Anything about the show you can reveal in one sentence that's exciting.
Okay, this is a show about people who are passionate and love what they do and will sacrifice anything to do it. And so I think it's universal in that appeal.
Well, first of all, introduce us to your character. Tell us his name and a little about him.
So his name is Gabin, and I like to compare him to a peacock. You know, he has a lot of feathers, lots of colors. Can't quite know how to fly yet, but he's a beautiful man. He's a talented artist. He's got a beautiful soul, but he comes from a working class family. Has a rough background. It's difficult for him because the people around him don't have the same background, so he feels like he's got to prove himself. He's, you know, very hot-headed, arrogant, hard to work with, but he learns through season 1 to let go of himself and work with other people and trust authority and how to become the artist that he's meant to be.
So when you came across this role, what initially attracted you to the role in the project?
Well, the Paladinos, first of all, you know,
Great
I watched
answer.
all of Maisel, was a big fan, and I love their rhythm. You know, I have a music background and a movement theatre background, so working with them felt familiar and yet new at the same time. And the character, you know, I was very similar to him when I was in drama school, very hard to work with for sure, and I just love the comedy. It's so much fun. You know, to be able to go to your working place and have fun with other people, make people laugh, it's priceless.
With your music background, was doing TV always a goal of yours?
Well, that's a very good question. I started as a classical pianist, and then I discovered acting, and I realized that I wanted to do acting more than playing the piano, but it definitely helped, and especially for this show with the dancing, it helped with the rhythm and the coordination, etc.
In one sentence, get fans as excited as you can about this show. Anything you want to say about it?
Well, with everything that's going on right now in the world, I just want people to sit back, enjoy a show, feel good, feel comfortable, and be entertained.
Well, first of all, introduce us to your character. Tell us his name and just anything you want to share about him.
My character,
Yes.
Crispin Chambly, his name is, and he's a ruthless monster of raging egotism and disgraceful political inclinations who happens to love the ballet very, very deeply and who has spent a large amount of his enormous fortune on sustaining the ballet, which he knows all about and genuinely loves. It's nothing to do with any longing to have amorous encounters with the dancers. It's because he loves the ballet.
That's amazing and very intriguing. Wow. So, with the amazing lifelong career that you've had across theater, film, everything else, where were you in your career when this role found you, and how were you feeling about doing a new streaming show?
Well, I was absolutely delighted. I just finished doing a run of Anything Goes in London, the Cole Porter musical, of course. And out of the blue, I heard from Amy and Dan, whom I had met socially, but never professionally. We have a mutual friend in Sutton, the wonderful, the great Sutton Foster. And they just said to my agent, we've written this part for Simon Callow, and we wonder.
They wrote the part for you.
Well,
Wow!
I think they did. And,
Congratulations! That's
thank
amazing.
you very much. Could they come to London to talk to me about it? And I said yes, they could. And then they asked me if I knew anything about ballet, and I said I know everything about ballet because I was. I first went to my first ballet when I was 13. I spent 3 years at drama school where every week we had a classical ballet class. I followed it closely and fanatically ever since. And it all went very nicely from then on.
What is your favorite thing about working with the Paladinos?
There's nothing not to like. They're inspiring, inspired, generous, funny, original, demanding,
In a good way.
In a very good way.
Tell us the most exciting sentence possible to get everyone looking forward to
Coming
it.
to see the show. Well, you'll if you watch this program, you'll be introduced into a whole magical new world of passion and power and beauty and sadness and glory.
Hi. First off, introduce us to your character and anything you can share about her.
Her name is Mishi. She's 19 years old from Paris, and she is passionate about ballet. And she dances at the Ballet National School in Paris. And her dream is to become an étoile, but she gets kicked out from the school. So she decided to go dance in New York, where she blossoms and find her identity there. But she's forced to go back to Paris because of this swap. So she has to do. Yeah.
Awesome. And before coming onto this project, had you watched Gilmore Girls or The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Yeah, I did. I did watch Gilmore Girl. Yeah.
It's really exciting to be brought into this family of Amy's.
Very exciting. Yeah.
And she has such a passion for dance that I feel like anyone she casts speaks to how talented you are, because she has such high standards and a love for dance.
Yeah, she's very passionate about ballet, and I think we can see that in the image as she tries to be the most accurate in the show. Like, the show is very close to reality, but also so much fun.
Well, in one sentence, tell us the most exciting thing you can think of to get fans excited for the show.
I'm very excited for the fan to see the beauty of ballet, because we often see on TV like the drama aspect of ballet, the struggles, but there is so much beauty into it, and also to be able to see what is ballet, like it's like a real immersion in the ballet world.